So that was the president just speaking yesterday on this, the issue that took place in Colleyville, Texas, which is actually more towards Fort Worth than it is Dallas. But it was an act of terror. I don't know how else I mean, there's no other way to describe it, and why would you try? This crazy dude who's a British citizen came to the United States and decided to FAFO, and he got flashbanged by the SWAT team who bust up and shot him. So there you go. Thank you, SWAT team. We appreciate your efforts, SWAT team, and the Colleyville PD. We appreciate you. Thankfully, none of the hostages were injured. And I was reading this piece. Let me pull this up. I think it was Telegraph. There's like 4,000 different things I was reading about this today. The point being is that I was looking at this piece where they interviewed the brother of this dude, whose name I'm not going to say. They wanted to get this terrorist broad released from prison. Apparently, that's what the terrorist wanted to do. And the brother was like, we're just so sad. You know, he actually said our first priority is just getting him back to Britain, his body back to Britain. I would think your first priority is maybe saying a prayer for the victims that your stupid terrorist anti-Semitic brother decided to terrorize these people who, thankfully, they made it through this hostage event, but not probably without a severe dose of PTSD. Maybe your first priority should be saying a prayer for the community your brother terrorized and the people that he took hostage. Maybe that should be your first priority. No one gives a rat's ass how you want to get your dead terrorist brother's worm-feeding corpse back to the UK. Really am I supposed to feel sorry for terrorists and talk about them in flowery language? No, okay. I didn't think so. There you go. Yeah, nobody cares what is. It's just, but here's what gets me. At first he was like, well, we don't have Biden was saying we don't have enough information. The FBI actually tried to say that too. They actually tried to say that. They wanted to set any last bit of credibility, which they don't have, on fire, apparently. According to FBI's Matt DeSarno, he looks like a frat bruh. Matt DeSarno looks like he kicked back a few and then was like, well, I guess I better go try some press. That's the situation. I don't care if you're mad. He was he told the press, he goes, well, it's not related to the Jewish community. You mean this guy just randomly decided to pick a synagogue? And then he demanded that rabbi call a rabbi in New York because they wanted this ugly terrorist broad to be released. I am full of invectives about this chick. Oh, you didn't know that? Apparently he told that rabbi to call another rabbi about it. And the chick who, I'll tell you about the crazy terrorist chick who's in jail. But this guy's like, he comes out, Matt DeSarno. Well, it's not related to the Jewish community. I mean, hang on, let me do his voice because it's fun. He's like, I mean, it's just like, he just randomly targeted some Jews. Okay, go ahead and play it.
We do believe from our engagement with this subject that he was singularly focused on one issue and it was not specifically related to the Jewish community. But we're continuing to work to find motive. It
wasn't now, right?
And we will continue on that path.
Are you kidding me? That's insane. The FBI. But, parents are terrorists. What a clown show. So they and the AP and all these other outlets immediately, I mean, I'm just curious. Did Hamas give him his talking points? Did Hamas give Matt DeSarno his talking points? It really sucks when your name's out there, doesn't it? I mean, the hostage taker wanted the release of an Al-Qaeda terrorist, Afia Sadiq. And during her trial, by the way, she wanted to dismiss her lawyers and she demanded DNA testing of the jury so she could prove that they weren't Jews. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not an expert. I had a friend of mine who wrote a piece over Twitch. They're like, we're not experts about holding Jews hostage to free a woman, but yeah, it sure sounds like it was all about the terrorists having an issue with the Jewish community. I mean, he only walked into a synagogue, held a rabbi and others hostage, and then demanded the release of a terrorist broad who wanted to make sure that her jury and attorneys didn't have any kind of Jewish ancestry. Sort of sounds like they got issues with the Jewish community. I mean, let's just run down the list. So it was a terrorist with Al-Qaeda associations on a Saturday, Shabbos, in a synagogue holding Jewish hostages to free a terrorist who hates Jewish people. Kind of, I don't know. Maybe there's a connection to the Jewish community here. Not enough evidence. It might be it might be a bit early to rule out anti-Semitism here, but, or as Ilhan Omar would say, some guy did something. Now, here's what's funny. The FBI finally had to walk it back and say, well, okay, yeah, they're terrorists. They walked it back. Biden hasn't yet.
No, he actually said it was an act of terror.
He said it was an act of terror later. Yeah. But, terrorism is apparently white supremacy. So I think he needs to be a little bit specific. I don't know why can't the left admit that there's a major problem with the people that they like to, white knight for going after the Jewish community? Why can't they admit that this is a major problem?